Now then, wow. It's everything in my power to be awake after watching that. That was dull. Not a terrible performance from United, but two teams in a game of football, and the difficulty of playing an opposition like West Ham and David Moyes, who this season have done a cracking job at being difficult to break down. Well, normally they play a 4-2-3-1 with a number 10 in it. Today they played 3 defensive midfielders and went, oh yeah, good luck breaking this down. And we struggled. Of course we struggled. They made it purposely difficult for us, and I wonder at what point, I didn't really see it from Moyes, what his way of winning this game was. It almost was just like, well, I'm not going to lose it. Well, is your idea to get to penalties? It doesn't really seem like the cleverest idea. And they ultimately made it extremely difficult for United, who we dominated possession, we was very comfortable, very easy, and as such it became such a boring affair. And boring's the only word I've got for it. Like, I've just sort of mentioned on my fan cam there, and I'll reiterate it here because it's how I'm feeling at the moment. I'm feeling fucking depressed with life. The lockdown is really fucking taking its toll on us. The lack of being able to go and coach, the lack of that real high and real fucking low of football isn't there. Like, it's not real. Watching it on a TV program to me doesn't feel real, doesn't feel authentic, and it's hard for me to replicate what it's all about. I'm missing coaching. I'm missing feeling like I'm fucking doing something. And I think a lot of us are probably in the same boat where we've completed Netflix. I've watched everything I want to watch. I've read tons and tons of stuff, and I feel like, I feel trapped because of this fucking stupid lockdown that we're in, and the one shining light that we've got isn't real still because I don't get to go to the stadium and experience it, but we get to watch United. And it's live sport, kinda. It's a watered down version of what we normally get. There's no fans there. We're not experiencing it live. But we all look forward to it all week, so maybe we're placing extra emphasis on it. And when we're putting extra emphasis on it, we're hoping something happens. We're hoping there's something, do you know what I mean? And I think when we have games like tonight, we're frustrated. Max said it right. He says, if we'd have come out of the ground there tonight, it's freezing. We'd have been laughing at someone falling down the fucking stairs or slipping over in front of us going over the bridge, because it's icy and snowy at the ground, and we'd have been singing Que Sera, Sera, and we'd have chatted to a couple of people, and we'd have got off all. I think it's back now. We're back? I think we're back. I don't know, actually. I think it is back. I think it is back, yeah. We're back. Can you see me if you're back? I have no idea what happened then. That's weird. Doesn't usually do that. It's killed it. It's killed it. Right. I don't know what the fucking hell's going on. I'm just going to refresh this. If you can see me. If you can see me, comment 10 in the comments. Otherwise, I'm just going to fuck it off. Right, okay, you can see me. I'll just take your word for it. Everyone's commenting 10. Right, so the fucking point I was making anyway is this lockdown's getting to us all, and I think we've probably not really thought about how it's going to manifest in some sort of kickback, and I actually do think that we're all overemphasizing what's going on and maybe over-egging what was an all-right performance from United against a tough Premier League opposition. But we all feel fucking drained with it, feel dissatisfied with it, feel unfulfilled with it. We obviously didn't get to see Amad Diallo's debut, which was a little bit of a nightmare. Would have been nice to have seen that. And maybe actually might have injected a little bit of life into that game because it desperately needed it. But it wasn't to be. We've got some stats here though, so we'll share a couple of those stats and see what we reckon of those. So United have won their last 9 home FA Cup matches. It's the joint longest home winning run in the competition, equaling our 9 consecutive wins between 1908 and 1912, during which it was the first time we played against Mark Noble. Harry Maguire has won 10 of his 11 aerial duels that he contested against West Ham. Rashford's now been directly involved in 25 goals with 16 goals and 9 assists in all competitions. He's only second to Bruno. 6 of Scott's 7 goals this season have come at home, and he scored in each of his last 3 at Old Trafford. And he's now scored 7 goals in 30 appearances in all competitions this season, which is the same number he managed in the other 84 Manchester United matches prior to this campaign. The 47 minutes against West Ham, 100% aerial duels, 100% dribble success, 82% pass accuracy, 48 touches in total, 2 tackles, 1 key pass, and 1 shot. It was a good performance from McTominay. Was it man of the match worthy? It might have been, in all honesty, because it was rough on it. It was rough. But yeah, get your comments and all that lot in. It doesn't look like there's many of you survived from the call of the internet fucking dying on us. And also, it was a boring game. I can understand why loads of you don't really want to fucking talk about it. Man of the match was Amad. For me, says Notch. He didn't put a foot wrong, did he? Lindelof was my man of the match, says Ross. Debate needs to go. He offers zilch, says Paul. Whoa. So, a bit excitable, isn't it? Righty then, this channel is supported by the legends on Patreon, and we'll be doing your Q&A podcast tomorrow, so make sure you get your questions in for that. But I'm going to quickly head over and see what questions we've got from all of the lads over there as well. Now this didn't open up. Clearly having internet issues in here today. I can still see the questions, so I'll read some of these questions while I'm waiting for these ones. We see Hendo start against West Brom. Now, I can see on the horizon a real debate beginning to emerge about Dean Henderson versus De Gea. Now, for me, Dean's not claimed it yet. And I also don't think De Gea's been bad enough to be kicked out of the team. But there's not a lot in it. That's my opinion, at least, anyway. Luke says, how many yawns? None, actually, but I'm getting there. I'm bloody tired. And how many times did I nod off? I stayed awake for it, but not much. Rough. Nearly then. Was I disappointed not to see Amad? Yep. Ryan, in the long run, do I think it's more important that we kept a clean sheet rather than playing well? The opposite to Everton. I thought we did play well. I thought we did play well, to be honest. I think we lacked penetration, but we did play well. Ross says, I bet expected goals. Marshall's expected goals is not good. We don't get it for the FA Cup. They only have it for the leagues. It's a bit of a nightmare. Moyes hasn't beaten us in 14 goals since he was sacked. How good does that feel? It doesn't fucking make up for the year he was here. 9 months he was here. Fucking Christ. If he never beats us again, it's not good enough. Was that confirmation Ollie sees Donny solely as Bruno cover and not as box-to-box? He seemed pushed up far too high. Potentially, yeah. I think he's... there's a player in him. There's a real player in him, but he's got to be able to last longer than 60 minutes because that's not acceptable. You know, he looked like he was dead at 60 minutes not long ago, and now he hasn't really managed to progress beyond that. Kiefer says, McSaucey, Rice. Where was Rice tonight? For a guy that keeps getting linked to a move to a big club, did you see anything in him that you thought, do you know what? Yes, we need to be signing that guy, because I didn't. Certainly not for what would be very much about 70, 80 million pound at least. Who's worse at their job, Bruce Castor or Marshall? Well, let's see if we can keep Trump out of jail first, because that might be a genius job. Blake says, do I think this treatment with Van der Beek will have an adverse effect on him, making him less confident and depressed? Don't think he should have been sent off today. He was anonymous 10 minutes before we hooked him. He's clearly not fit. I think there is a player there, though, but it's going to take a bit more, I think. Donny isn't a 10. More of a player who can link, be short and intricate, should be playing box-to-box. I tend to agree with that. I think he's a 6, an 8 and a 10. I'm not 100% nailed on where he plays yet. Certainly not within this team. I don't think he gets on the ball enough to be a replacement for Bruno. Has Marshall actually been a case of 50 million down the drain after all? Oof, that's a hell of a claim, or a hell of a question. Mel says, how shite is Donny? I don't think he was that shite. Beans on Weetabix, what the fuck is going on? It's a great question. Did you see that today? That, for me, was bizarre, to say the least. I mean, what do you even do with that? Where do you even start with that? How, weird that is? It's probably a genius marketing ploy, though, because, we're talking about it. Was this game calling for Cavani to start? For me, yeah. For me, yes. You've got to have the differentials. That front three are far too similar for me. I think you've got to make it a bit different. And Khabib Scrub said, would you rather play McSauce or Marshall at striker? I think I was watching a game with Jay and Al and Ronaldo, and someone said that. I can't remember who it was that said that. He scored more goals than him, if that's something to go by. Do we need a Haaland? Yes. Donny stitches play and finishes as a latecomer. Yeah, that's what I think. He might work more as a playmaking midfielder deep. But yeah. Thoughts on Tellez and Williams? I thought Tellez had a real good game. Williams, I just don't think he did. He wasn't on the pitch long enough for anything. Steven said it was the perfect day for Van der Beek to stand next to someone in midfield. My worry is that Ollie thinks he's a 10, which he isn't. I think he's played at 10, but I think you're right. I think he probably does consider him as a 10. But he also played him deep against Southampton. The issue is, for me, is his fitness. He's got to get his fitness sorted out. Joseph says, on a reel, Donny tonight was terrible. Doesn't know where to be on a pitch. We weren't finding him, and he didn't. I think I said to Adam before, when you're given an opportunity like this, Sam says, I'm a Patreon member. Where do I ask the questions? In the Discord group, which you've got sent the link to. You've got to grasp the opportunity. If you're Donny van der Beek and you're given a shirt tonight and you're not playing, you can't come in and have a 6 out of 10 performance. You've got to come in and go, listen, I need to make this mine. Pogba's injured. The gaffers give us a shirt. I've got to be taking someone's spot here tonight. That's the mentality you've got to go with. This is an opportunity. We're not a fucking charity. We're not every single player has been given an opportunity by Ollie. Every single player has been given an opportunity, including Phil fucking Jones. So you can't say someone's not had a chance. He's had a chance. Now, he might not have had enough chances, and you can certainly make a case that he should be coming on as a sub more if you want to integrate him into how we play more often. Completely agree with you on that. But when he started, he's got to go and take an opportunity. Look at Marcus Rashford's debut. He went, I'm starting next game. Watch me. Bosh, there's 2 fucking goals. Then we started him against Arsenal. He's like, have a fucking another couple of goals. And then you keep your spot in the team. This is what you've got to do. This is ruthless at elite sport level. You have to take someone's place. No one's given a place. You have to steal it. And I don't think Donny's done that just yet. And his confidence might be shattered. And yeah, he doesn't look like he's settled. And ultimately it might end up being a flop. But at the moment, he hasn't come in and he doesn't even look like he's tried to take someone's spot for me. He's been here a good few months now. Show some fucking desire to be there. You know, I want to hear stories about... Listen, I know some of the coaches at Old Trafford. None of them are saying to me like, oh yeah, he stays behind, he's working on his fitness, fucking be a right player someday. No one's saying that. Now, no one's saying that he isn't doing that. But when people are doing this extra work, it usually gets filtered through. People are impressed with that sort of attitude. And it gets filtered through when people are doing that. Kiefer says, I like Fred, but he doesn't fall to his left foot, he flaps. The problem United have got at the moment, in that sort of sixth position, we have to play two players because neither of the players that we've got are good enough to play that role on their own. There's no Fernandinho, there's no Michael Carrick. And I think I can kind of see that Ollie wants to maybe move us towards a 4-3-3 sort of system, which might have two more ball-playing midfielders in it. But the guy that sits on his own has got to be genuinely world-class. Matic is certainly no longer that. McTominay is not that. Fred is not that. They're great squad players. The day that Fred and McTominay can play 20 games a season off the bench and as rotational players, that's great because we'll have evolved the squad to the point where we've got that world-class number 6, whoever that is. That's what we want. That's what we need to have. Like, Michael Carrick wasn't that necessarily when we signed him, but within a couple of years, he became that. No, I can't really, outside of Sal Niguez, and I still don't know if that would work. I just love him as a player, and I'd make it work somehow if I was in that sort of opportunity. Yeah, see, a lot of people are thinking Ndidi. I think the ship might have sailed on Ndidi. I think he's been at the top too long, and I don't think you're getting a length of service out of him. You almost sort of catch people on the way up. I like Saul. And people think you need this combative Kante and Ndidi party sort of midfielder. You don't. We was unbelievably offensive when we played Michael Carrick as a lone 6. We had Ever on one side, Raphael or Wes Brown on the other side. Wes Brown would be in the final third. I mean, look at the assist in the Champions League final. If he was ever a game that he was going to hold, that was a bit of game. In the final third, crossing it with his left foot. When you've got both your fullbacks bombing forward, you're playing a forward 3 which doesn't give a fuck and it's just going completely forward. You're playing a midfield which has got Scholes in. All right, Hargreaves played a lot, but we'd probably play a 6, an 8, and a 10. With Paul Scholes being, that bit more of a 10, even though positionally he was a little deeper. You can have that very offensive if you've got someone with the position and the intelligence of Michael Carrick. And I think Saul could be that guy. You don't need to be a destroyer. I don't know where this sort of fashion has come from him. Maybe it's because for a number of years, Kante was so good that people go, oh, I need someone that literally just does that. Mad Dragon says Scott is perfect for that. I'm not sure he is. AF Transcend said Saul isn't right for the team. He's a box-to-box. I think he could do it. Michael Carrick was an attacking midfielder before we got him. You don't necessarily... I don't think you need to put us... I don't think you need to box people into like certain categories as fluidly as that, or as strictly as that. And yeah, I know Saul might not happen, but a boy can fucking dream, can't he? Ruben Neves, Ruben Neves might be another that potentially could work. I'm amazed he's still at Wolves, to be honest with you. Shocked, if anything. Give Pogba a new contract and he could do a Carrick no problem. Here's the thing, right? Paul Pogba 100% could do that. Maybe not the defensive side of the game. That's not natural to him, but he could do the number 8 side of the game. And I think you could have a fantastic midfield. If you had Saul as a 6, Pogba and Bruno as your 8 and 10, fucking bring it on. That's the basis to put everything in. A couple of people asking about Declan Rice. I'm not convinced. I am not convinced on Declan Rice. But yeah, I would love to see that. I just do not think Paul Pogba is going to stick around. I think he's gone. So as much as I would sit here and tell you, look, I think he's one of the best midfielders in the world, but I think he's going to be the best midfielder in the world for somebody else. Now, we sort of spoke a little bit earlier on the pre-match show, talking about Varane. Is this an opportunity now for Manchester United? It could be smoke and mirrors, it could be agent talk, but if it's true that Madrid, if he doesn't sign a new deal, are going to be forced to sell him, well, this is where someone from United needs to get on the phone and go, do you know what? We need a fucking top draw centre-half. Rafael Varane, come on down, and we'll take Paul Pogba the other way. That's a swap deal that suits both people. They've probably got a similar sort of market value. They're a similar age. They're probably going to be similar sort of wages. Makes a lot of sense for me. Real need cash, yeah. Put me at centre mid. Don't think so, mate. Not with my fucking ankles. And also, you think Donny's not lasting 60 minutes? I'm not fucking seeing half time. McGinn would be class. Love him, says Nezodden. I like him. I don't think he's world class though. Sam says, do you think sometimes players need to take a bit more responsibility with the ball at the edge of the box? It feels like no one except Bruno ever takes the chance to shoot. Yes. Do I think Scott has the potential to become Carrick in the future? I would say go and watch Michael Carrick's passing range and then tell me if you can see Scott doing that. I like him. I don't think he's got that in his locker, sadly. Because I'd love to be able to do it homegrown. Do I still think we can get world-class players? Of course. So what question is that? Would Van der Beek do well at the Carrick role? I think he's got the intelligence to do it. I think he's got the range of passing to do it. I don't know if he's got the physicality to do it. And again, you got to last 90 minutes. This is the basics of football. Can you watch 90 fucking minutes? If you can't last 90 minutes, what are we doing? Ward Prowse to United, again, would certainly look at that. But you're going to get your ass handed to you picking up anyone from the Premier League. What's the best league for bargain quality players? Hungary? I don't fucking know. What about Ghana? Ghana's impressed already, aren't he? Nottingham Forest. I think you got to go do it properly for a full season. Eredivisie might be the one, yeah. Maybe Ghana or Levitt in the future for that role. Levitt would be very interesting, but again, I think Dylan lacks a little bit in physicality, but in terms of the passing range, the willingness to get on that ball and just constantly move it around, Dylan's elite in that sense. But I worry, like he's almost a bit Paul Scholes-ish. If he ends up getting close to that level of what Paul Scholes has done, then yeah, you can accommodate a relative lack of physicality, and maybe everyone around you being a bit more physical, you can accommodate it because his passing is so good and his ability on the ball is so good. But it is his weakness. He's quite small and all the rest of it. Mardragon says Ethan Laird started well today after United started. Not sure what happened. Ethan Galbraith. Ethan's got a good tempo about the way he plays the game. I think, again, I'm quite surprised he's not gone on loan yet. And I've just clocked it. Someone's just asked about what's the script with Shola. Where does he play? Well, Shola plays left wing, right wing, 10 or 9. So I don't necessarily think he's nailed down his position just yet. I think he's still got a little bit of a way to go till we figure out what his position is. Once we figure out what his position is, I'm sure there's a player in there in the future. He's extremely talented and he's extremely aggressive going forward, and I like that, me. So we'll see what all that is about. But I'm going to wrap it up there. Cheers for tuning in, everybody. Apologies for it just going tits up in the middle of it. I don't know what the hell happened there. But make sure to check out 5 Things tomorrow. This is on YouTube and it's also on Twitch as well. So we're doing some more content on Twitch. We did a Super Bowl watch along on Sunday. Had a drink or 5 and it was a good laugh. So, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Laters.